What's up, guys? This is Kristen from Small Town Big Talk, Galesburg, Illinois. Tonight, I wanted to do something a little different, as you're used to seeing videos of local businesses. But tonight, I wanted to dive in to the Sonataha Road murder, the death of Georgette Rodrigues. So, without any further ado, let's get into it. Georgette Rodrigues was a 67-year-old woman from Galesburg, not someone you'd expect to become the center of a violent crime story. She was older, vulnerable, and according to reports, had some kind of connection to the man who would later be accused of killing her. But what exactly brought her to that house on Somataha is still unclear. And that mystery is part of what makes this case so chilling. On October 26, 2025, around midday, police received a well-being check request. Not unusual. But the call itself? It came from someone worried about a man acting strange. And that man was David Nicholson Klingerman Jr. His own father reportedly called police concerned about his behavior, mentioning possible mental health issues and that something might be wrong. And when officers arrived at the house on North Songataha, something felt immediately off. The police walked into the property. No answer at the door. But then they moved to the back of the house, and what they find was horrifying. A body, wrapped, hidden under a porch. There were signs of blood, drag marks, and what appeared to be an attempt to conceal what had happened. And more disturbing signs were blood on the floor, a smear that suggested violence, evidence that something had gone terribly wrong. This was no accident. This was a brutal killing. And according to court documents, Georgette Rodrigues was beaten to death. The weapon? A hammer. She suffered severe blunt trauma to the head, causing fatal injuries to her skull and brain. There were also signs she tried to defend herself, which means this wasn't instant. This was violent, personal, and terrifying. David L. Nicholson Klingerman Jr. was 29 years old. 29. After the discovery, police searched the home. And where did they find him? Hiding, of course, in a closet inside the same house. He was arrested and charged with first-degree murder, aggravated domestic battery, and concealment of a homicidal death. Investigators believe he attacked her and then moved the body and tried to hide what he had done. This case didn't stop at the arrest, though. Authorities began collecting DNA evidence, blood samples, hair, and even DNA from weapons like a hammer and the knife. There's also digital evidence involved of photo data and Google accounts, which means this case could go even deeper than what we already know. But here's my bigger question, and some of you might be wondering out there as well. What was the exact relationship between them? And to be honest with you, I've lived in this town my whole life. I have never once heard of any of these people. So this is very odd to me. What led up to the attack? And was this planned or a sudden explosion of violence? And could this have been prevented? Did he just lose his shit one day and just decide, I'm just going to kill this lady? And that's the thing I want to know, I guess, is she was living there, but how are they related? And what made him go off the edge? Galesburg isn't immune to violence, and sometimes the most disturbing crimes happen in the quietest places. I mean, you guys know Galesburg. You know where Songataha is. Songataha, where this happened, was on the opposite side of the Songataha apartments. This was in a house more closer to the Songataha Country Club area on the other side. So it's a quiet neighborhood, and then this just happens. I don't know. A simple welfare check that turned into a murder investigation, where a home turned into a crime scene and a life taken in a brutal, unforgettable way. This is just wild to me. This is also Small Town Big Talk, and this story is far from over.